Would you believe me if I told you that I've never once consciously engagement farmed on Twitter? I'm being serious. I literally have not once ever in my life tweeted something with the intention of engagement farming, except on April Fool's Day that one time when I said I didn't like Dark Souls all that much. That was obviously not true. But I bring this up because it seems that not only did I have a tweet go particularly viral and it just won't slow down even though it's literally just a picture of a Steam Deck, but several things have happened after I made that tweet, and one of the things that's happened is going to be the subject of this video, because following the announcement of all the nonsense with the Switch 2, I simply tweeted out a picture of a Steam Deck. Priced at $400, with games that are not $80, with online access that doesn't charge you monthly just to use your own internet connection, with a gigantic library of games, with lots of emulators, with mods, with all of the functionality of an actual full-size PC just tucked in a little box there for $400. The point that I was making with this was not that the Steam Deck is some kind of technical powerhouse that totally overpowers the Switch 2. In fact, I wasn't really making a point at all. I literally just tweeted out a picture of a Steam Deck. If I had made a caption, then the caption would have been something along those lines of the fact that for $400, for less money than a Switch 2, you get cheaper games, you get more games, you get constant sales, you get more customization, you get more options, and I just believe the Steam Deck is a better product, especially for the price. I can explain to you for hours on end why the Steam Deck is a better purchase for a gamer looking for a handheld system, or a hybrid system, I guess, since there is a dock for the Steam Deck. But I could explain for a long time why I think the Steam Deck is a better purchase, and I would never have to bring up the specs at all. And I'm explaining this now because I got a response from HMK. Some of you will know who this is, some of you won't. I didn't know who this was, I still don't know, and I still don't care. But they quote tweeted me and said, "Sigh," because we're typing out the word sigh like it's still 2012. Not 1080p, not 120 hertz, only digital, no upscaling, I can go on. And then they hilariously got community noted because the Steam Deck does indeed have upscaling. But then I quote tweeted HMK back and said, "I love how suddenly specs matter to the Nintendo dudes." Because remember, for years on end, the Nintendo guys have been perfectly fine paying $70 for digital copies of games that run at 720p at 30 frames per second. They've been perfectly a-okay with that. But now, all of a sudden, specs matter. Because, frankly, when you compare the Steam Deck and the Switch 2, specs are all you have. Sure, the Switch 2 is technically a more powerful system than the Steam Deck, but that's also not the be-all end-all of the conversation, as you Nintendo guys should know, because for the longest time now, you've been telling us that specs don't matter. It's about the games. It's about the functionality. It's about what the system offers you aside from specs. But now that specs are really the only thing you have over the Steam Deck, suddenly it's all about specs. How interesting that is. And oops, that tweet got a lot of attention as well. So we're going to look through the responses, because a lot of people were surprisingly taking HMK's side here. So just to be clear, I post a picture of a Steam Deck. HMK starts going on about specs and nothing else. I point out how this is comical, because, not only because he got community noted in his own correction to me, but also because specs didn't matter to Nintendo guys until 5 seconds ago. And now, we're just going to read through the various Nintendo dude responses that I got to this, because you guys really are bending yourself in every which way to defend this thing, and I just don't understand. I'm really yet to hear a solid argument as to why you would want a Switch 2 over a Steam Deck other than physical games, but as many of you probably know, you don't even really have a physical game advantage anymore, because Nintendo is slowly but surely taking those away from you as well. But let's just hear what everyone has to say. Let's just hear the Nintendo dudes try and twist this back into their favor. Specs didn't matter until 5 seconds ago. And also, there's all these different aspects of the comparison between the Steam Deck and the Switch 2, but we're just not going to talk about those because of the following reasons. Get your flasks. This one's rough. Buzz2049 says, you mean after everybody's comparing it to a Steam Deck, which is actually more outdated than the Switch? Yeah, sure it does. Oh, outdated tech matters now. Interesting. Outdated tech matters now. Funny, because, again, we've been told by the Nintendo guys since the release of the Switch, which was in 2017, and back in 2017 the tech was already very outdated, and yet they continue to charge you full price and even $70 for games running on that outdated tech with outdated specs and outdated benchmarks. We've been told literally since 2017 that that doesn't matter because there's all these other aspects outside of the tech about the Switch that make the system worth it. But now suddenly it's all about the tech, and that's the only thing that matters in the Steam Deck to Switch comparison. Now, all of a sudden, outdated hardware is all you need to say to shut down the comparison. Game library doesn't matter, game selection doesn't matter, features don't matter, accessibility doesn't matter, pricing doesn't matter. It's all shut down because one of the system has outdated hardware compared to the other. Fascinating how that is. Fascinating, fascinating. It's almost like you're proving my point. Next comment. Luigi, yep, name checks out, says, it's more so you're showing something you thought was stronger and cheaper. At least that's the idea that comes from your tweet. You're just wrong, lol. I do love this idea, like this implication that I started it. Like, look at this. This is all I said. All I said was, I'm gonna leave this here with a picture of a Steam Deck. And then this guy made it about specs. Again, I thought you Nintendo folk were very aware of the fact that it's not just about specs when purchasing a gaming platform, but now, when I respond to this, suddenly the whole thing is my fault. Suddenly, I started the tech conversation. Not only did I start the tech conversation, I said the Steam Deck was stronger and cheaper. Really? I said that? Oh wait, no, sorry. That's the idea that comes from your tweet. Again, I love this. I love this. Suddenly, games don't matter, accessibility doesn't matter, features don't matter, none of this matters. The only thing that matters is the tech and which one's stronger. And not only is that all that matters, but you are so confident that that's all that matters that you are literally telling me I said something I didn't say. I'm having so much fun with this. I feel so powerful right now. Okay, let's go. Oh, I love this one. Gilgax Pro says, he corrects your stupidity and this is your response? Are you mentally ill? First of all, he corrected my stupidity being a literal picture of a Steam Deck, and that was it. And also, in his correction of my stupidity, he got fucking community noted because he was wrong. So, what are we doing here, buddy? Truly, what exactly are we doing here? Because we're not making good arguments. That's number one thing we're not doing here. Splurgalex says, I love how price matters to non-Nintendo gamers when specs catch up to current gen systems. Wait, are we suggesting that non-Nintendo gamers have never cared about Nintendo's pricing? Is that what we're saying right now? Cause methinks that's not true. Methinks Nintendo has been getting constantly criticized for their pricing by people who don't partake in their pricing, so not entirely sure what you're trying to say here. Also, are we suggesting that the specs of the Switch 2 have caught up to current gen systems? Like the specs of the Switch 2 are like comparable to the other systems, that's why it's priced that way. Are we real? And like I'm not here to defend the PS5 or like the Series X. I think both of those systems are grossly underpowered for what they're charging, but they're also significantly more powerful than the Switch 2. And like, that's okay. I've said it a million times. I've always respected the fact that Nintendo prioritizes fun game design and accessible hardware over things like technical performance and big benchmarks. I actually really respect that. But now that you guys are suddenly in the ballpark of current console specs, now we're supposed to disregard price altogether? Is that what you're trying to say? I'm not trying to be like the other guys who put words in people's mouths and make their arguments for them, but I'm genuinely not sure what the fuck point you're trying to make here. Price has always mattered to non-Nintendo gamers. If we're not a Nintendo gamer, there's a good chance that price is one of the reasons why. PTT7 here says, Nintendo fan here, I'm just happy that after almost 20 years of the admittedly successful strategy of having a very underpowered yet cheap to produce console that's barely good enough, we're finally getting a little bit of now you're playing with power back. 20 years of successful strategy for Nintendo? 20 years ago was 2005. Are we really suggesting that since 2005, Nintendo's had a successful strategy? I feel like we're forgetting something here. I feel like we're forgetting the Wii U, which has a lot of concerning similarities to the Switch 2, as many people have pointed out. The only reason the Switch 2 exists is because the Switch exists, and the only reason the Switch exists was because the Wii U was such a disaster. So I feel like we're glossing over something here. Pyrostorm says, I love how Nintendo specs suddenly matter to people who have no intention of buying one. Again, it's like the price thing. If we weren't on Nintendo's platform before, specs were probably a significant reason why. It's not like we've never paid attention before now. Also, this is not a good deflection to me pointing out that specs didn't matter to you until 5 seconds ago. Nintendo dudes didn't know anything about specs. Other than the fact that the hardware was underpowered, and they admittedly did not care that it was underpowered. But now that the hardware is not underpowered, suddenly they're all spec experts and spec enthusiasts. And specs are the only things that matter to them. It's like, that's objectively funny. But also, fucking irony alert here, Nintendo specs only matter to the people who have no intention of buying one. So if you have no intention of buying something, you're not allowed to criticize it? Okay. Shut the fuck up about the Steam Deck then. Like, what is this? Julie says, because suddenly the price matters to the PC/PlayStation 2s. Again, we've been talking about price for years. Because Nintendo just keeps swindling you people, and you keep allowing yourselves to be swindled. We point at that, and we're like, man, that's a problem. It'd be great if they didn't do that. It'd be great if we didn't set that example for the rest of the industry, how much they're charging you for absolutely everything. Like, where is this idea coming from that non-Nintendo gamers haven't been talking about Nintendo prices before now? Because we super have. Because evidently, you Nintendo folk won't do it yourselves. And then you wonder why things keep getting more expensive. Oh man, if only we could piece this one together. What a mystery this is, Carmen Sandiego. One more. I love how power no longer matters to Steam Deck fans. It's all about price now. Fire emoji. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's not just about the hardware. It's not just about the hardware. Like all of you Nintendo people have been saying for literal years now. It's not just about the hardware. It's about everything else and what they're charging you for the whole package. For the longest time, Steam Deck guys would bring up hardware because it was more powerful hardware than the Switch, in addition to all the things that you got with the Steam Deck that weren't available on the Switch. But now that the Switch 2 has better hardware, you guys still don't want to talk about the rest of those things. That's why it's funny to point out. For the longest time, Nintendo guys were like, no, don't pay attention to the Steam Deck's hardware, pay attention to Nintendo Switch, because the Switch has all these great games. It's not about hardware, it's about games. It's about ecosystem. It's about community. But now, suddenly, it's only about power because the Steam Deck still has more games, and is more accessible, and has more features, and is cheaper every step of the way. But now, we gotta talk about power and only power. And the fact that you're trying to boil the entire platform comparison down to specs and only specs, it is fucking hilarious. Because specs did not matter to you people until 5 seconds ago. There are so many problems with the Switch 2. The price for games is outrageous. They're charging you to play your own games online. That is outrageous. There is absolutely no drop in price for games over time. That is outrageous. This system is so restrictive with what you are and are not allowed to do with it. It is outrageous. And then here's this handheld platform called the Steam Deck. It is cheaper, it gives you all of those things, it is a much more accessible platform with better pricing, more games, more to do, but you don't want to talk about that. You want to hoist up the Switch 2 based on specs and specs alone, and that is objectively comical because specs did not matter to you people until 5 seconds ago. though. It is hilarious how you people are trying to twist this now. Ugh, like, I don't mean to keep harping on the Steam Deck. Or the Switch 2, excuse me. Fuck me. I really don't mean to keep harping on it, but like, can you really blame me? This shit just keeps falling in my lap. How am I supposed to turn away from this? So listen, I'm gonna do the Doofus Club shoutouts now, and then I'm gonna fucking, I don't know, go play God of War 2 or something, because I've been playing God of War 2, and I'm rapidly remembering why I don't think I ever actually finished God of War 2 back in the day, because I'm rapidly remembering just how obnoxious everything but the combat in this game is. Have you noticed that? When's the last time you played one of the God of War games, like one of the old God of War games? The combat is phenomenally good. It is so much fun. But oh my god, everything else in this game puts me to sleep. So I guess the new God of War games were the perfect reboots then. Great combat, literally everything else puts me to sleep. Okay, let's just get through this. Let's get through this together. Gurundai, no pon po kopi non no pon po kona. Why did that one have to be first? Partial mean 8 Wild Gamer 2001, JJ Dusty sold me a fent behind Blockbuster. Mole Theme, Biter and Deviant, Volksalto, Cloaked Onyx, at Omega, JJ Dusty. Wait, hang on. JJ Dustin, JJ, what the fuck have you been up to? Hail de Nouveau, Pub, Cod, Stop it, Codman4372WX, The Gamer 127YT. Joe, have you tried Crab Champions? Jesus. Father Joe, when are you joining voice chat? Like in 10 minutes. Get in the van, Gold Pyrax, Zombie Fan, Aldorato 1. I shit on my floor the whole time you were gone. Joe, Ultimate Jack, Dog, Nigsy, Smile, Blast 1314, Snake Eyes 327, Devastator 2000, Edge Knight 1789, Raptor 1. It's Gamer Word, not Gamer World. Get it right, Joey. Sad Your Freighter, MK2396E. I'm still in the moat, Joe. Please get help. No. Henthai, Ex Machina Gamma, Elite Wolf, Fire Hazard 105, Epion 504, If You Read This You Gay, Klepto Penguin, Banshee, GWXSS, Doom, Kaiju, Wrath of the Wolf, Evanco, Oki Toodles, Tech Gaming, Jungle Zone, Slim Jim, Really Zero, Gaming with Dead People, Bender Fondue, All Games Video, Japanese name I can't read, Max Go, V2 Gaming, Biscuit 1101, PS5 has Infinite Bacon, Horizon Forbidden West Remastered, Pope Raphael the Racking, Jessica Shepard, Riki Spiral, Riki Teak Tabby, Muskie, watch Tangled for the first time since I was a kid. It's good. It is good. Tangled is a fucking great movie. Karumi the Steel Angel, Who Do You Voodoo Woo Who Doofy Woofy, Smash Jump, Sergeant Jason Bond, Baron Von Vonderholm, Cyrus the Fail, Iris failed the homework, admonish me Joe, forgot to change my name, now I can't afford to fix it, True Tech Skin 940, Yingbo, oh god, Anemone Isthmus United Establishmentarianism, Hinoka's #1 Saudi fan, Creed Warrior 23, Max Chev, Harmon's Nintendo Defense Reaction vid when, Chap, Totally Insane, Vendetta Autry, Black Cobra, Knight of Cypher, Reborn Me with the fan art, ML04, I own 6 copies of Click 2006 on Blu-ray with the fan art, Switch 2 is more of a scam than the PS5 Pro, Wolf of Midnight, Stig Rider, Pig Venus, Kev Dog 1992, Sequence Studios, Film Crack in the Beastums, Own Gaming, Tariq Brown, Thomas Brocan, Hero Culture, Thorn Skate, Magan X, Severin Evans, Mr. Spawning 03, it's the Carolina freaking Y Mixer, Pow Pow, Y Trouble, Donnie Weston, Nick Donegan, Gub Gobson, Rogue Winter 919, Bobby Hinner, Grimsy, Son Goku Rants, Hangman for Hire, Elden the Nobles, Frost, Crystal, Jimmy Chops, not Johnny Chips, Biogenesis, Ian in Action, Floppy Pinkus 97, Michael Musigiel, Manga Key, Kush Good Scuffy Skull, Ghost Ho, remember to tell Nintendo, lower your prices, to Jojo 6, Vast Growth, M Tango Raptor Tim, Omnistef 94, Blue Hook, Joe, the Steam Deck vs Switch 2, Mines Runneth Over, I know, we're there, Schnorlaxon, I am high as a kite as I write this, Jody Breeze, Smitty, Worker, Jaegerman Jensen, Maxwell Massimo, Mimic Advertisement, Yago Garcia, Kibikins, I American Idiot, Rebel Blood 80, Omako Tanko, that's not what it says Omanko Taco. Oracle, I ordered pizza from Papa Joe's. Oh no, it's Justin. Randroid, Tony Wayne, Bloodline, Extreme the Wolf 7, Joey Scoops, my name is Mud, Joe Taku, Joe licked my feet, now he won't call me back. I want to be your condom, so pull me over your head and blow me up. Want to be Hobo, Jidge, Westa, Bullet 310 Char, Rob C, The Veg, I am Veg, The Groovy Banana, Curtin Allen's Pack, Scar Master, Bloodborne 2, 10 years, no port, Boogaloo. Baby, we're doing good here. We're doing the Lord's work here together, you and me. Okay, toodles.